One lesson I learned in my coach training is it's all about the client. You don't talk about yourself. It's not about the coach. It's not about the coach's experience. It's all about the client and the experience he's going through. And what that version did for me is I created a story around it. I created a story that in my coaching sessions, I will not talk about my experiences at all. It's just going to be about the client, about the coachee or the leader that I'm coaching. And very recently, I was attending a webinar that talked about how coaches move from good to great. And in that path, you don't necessarily fix onto a rule or something that you've learned, that you learn to break that rule, that you learn to bend it to serve the client. And I just couldn't help but notice the coincidence that happened in this 1 week of me attending that webinar and hearing that, and then conducting a live coaching session with the client. And it happened all organically, where I was working with this client who's a leader, and he's working on his trust issues that he has, that he's not able to trust easily his team members or his colleagues, and he wanted to work with me on that. And as I was trying to help him get deeper and understand where is this coming from about him distrusting people without them creating any kind of reason around it, I couldn't help get deeper with this client. And instantly I wanted to share an example of my own life, of how I operated from a certain paradigm of trust and how that helped me in this whole process. And as I was sharing my experience in this whole bit, consciously battling that, am I breaking a rule over here or am I enabling my client? My client immediately paused and he says, you know what, I get it. I get where you're going, but my journey is completely opposite and I now get my answer. He paused for a good few seconds and said that this is so powerful. I had not realized that I always feel I'm superior to others, that I'm always better than others. And because of that, I shut others around me. I don't hear them out. I don't trust them. I don't see credibility in others because I always feel I'm better. And he says, this has been such a big insight for me because I never knew I was operating from that paradigm. And it's shocking to realize that for myself, but I'm more happy that I'm able to understand where I'm coming from. And it was just a beautiful silence that came from him, where he was just swimming in that thought of this realization that he had been struggling for years, not only in professional relationships, but also in personal relationships. So in this case, bending the rule that I had created for myself, that a coach should not share their own experience, actually served the client much higher. And this is a lesson I took for myself, to be present throughout, in my sessions, in my work, in my conversations, to see what is present, what is available right now, and just go with that and not create these mind blocks around it. So that's my invitation to you is, in your presence today, what is something that you've created a rule around? And does bending that a little bit serve you better? Have a good day.